So I am the director of education, and on March 17th, a date that I will remember forever, we were told that we were not returning to our offices, and that meant that we weren't returning to our classrooms. We have an after-school program that works with about 400 kids every day after school for 3 hours a day at our learning centers. And that meant that we were going to be separated from our students, and we didn't know for how long.
Right.
I keep saying that my mantra has been COVID, change, opportunity.
Ooh, I like
And I have to tell you, our educators, 20 of them just hit the ground running, and that became their mantra too. So we're not going to be in the classrooms, we're not going to be with our students, but we can't leave them on their, we can't not see them, we can't not worry about them in this special time. And academically, we don't want them to lose ground because our program is pretty academic. So they made about 480 calls via WhatsApp, text, FaceTime, phone, email, to reach families and to ask, first of all, is everything okay? Are you okay? Are the kids okay? And what are your needs? Do you need food? Do you need technology? Do you need support? Are you scared? And that all comes from the relationships that they have built through the years with our families. It's not just something that happens overnight. So that's how we started. We started with just asking, what is it that you need? How are the kids doing? How are you doing? Are you both working? Is someone at home with the children? A lot of questions.
Right. Very important things to still have available. I know there's a lot of friends of mine on Facebook, parents that aren't used to being home with the children, and it's been quite a struggle. How are you finding that out there? Are you finding that the kids are okay, or what's going on?
Well, I think that, again, it all comes down to relationships. So we have relationships with our kids. And so when we call a Zoom class, our teachers are using Google Classroom. They have been from the first day. They have Zoom classes with students. We know what they're doing on math and literacy through our web-based programs. And then we also will call and check in with them if they're not showing up to their Zoom classes or they're not working on their, and they also have office hours. So the students can call, the parents can call, and I think what the big sigh of relief was for our parents was they didn't have to do all the academics.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah.
whatever came from the schools, the kids could share with us via FaceTime or Zoom, and we could help them with that. And it's not just for the tinies, the little ones, but even for our students that are home from college and our students that are getting ready to go to college. So one of our volunteer tutors is a calculus teacher. So if any of our students anywhere, that's a great thing. Now it's not site-based, it's any of our students
Right.
can reach out to him and he can help them with any high level math that they might have.
So I'm getting that you're not just grade school. You're clear from K to 12, or
We're from K to 16. So our program is kinder to and through college. Our goal is for all of our kids to go to college and
yes.
for all of our students to feel prepared for that. And so that's why we start with our kinders and we support them. And even when they go off to school, they don't have rest from us because we're constantly calling or emailing or texting. Are you okay? How's it going? Some of our students that came back needed quiet places to study because they were still one of our students is at Notre Dame and he was still had classes. So we opened up one of our offices for him to be able to study there. Then they started scheduling each one-on-one so that they could go in there and work in a quiet space.
Wow, that's great. Possibilities. I was out walking one day with a dog quite a while ago and caught up with one of the teachers at one of the local schools. And she says a lot of teachers were very concerned, and it really plugged me in. I had no idea, but there's some kids with some violent homes. And is that anything that you've come across? Are those children okay? Can you share?
Well, I think that what's great about our Zoom meetings is that it gives us eyes on our kids. So the kids are in a class, but we also have we're looking at all of them, right? So we've had some funny instances where, like a mom will come in and say, did you clean your up, and get caught,
No. Yeah.
and go, oh, that's right, everybody can see me. But we haven't had that. I again go back to relationships. I feel that because our students know that they can reach out to us, that they would. And I think a lot of that feeling of being, alone and without anyone, and that's gone because they really do have a lot of support from our educators.
Right. Wow. That means so much. Sometimes they don't get even that much support at school because schools have so many children per one adult, and it's tough to rein them in and keep a hold on all of them. So good for you. So are these teachers then that are working from home and checking in with you? How do connect the dots? You must oversee this program, but
Right. So we have three regional coordinators, one for Paso, Santa Maria, Guadalupe, one for the middle region, and one for the southern region. And they have a daily meeting with their lead educators, and the lead educators have daily meetings with their para educators. And so I think we have more contact than we actually did when we were all in our offices and in our classrooms, and so at the end of the week there's a whole team, uh, Zoom meeting, and there are anywhere from 16 to 18 of the educators online talking about what's been happening during the week. The regional coordinators let them all know what the expectations are for the following week. It's very structured because we found that everybody needed the structure, from the
yeah.
kids to our educators
Yeah.
to the whole program. The structure needed to be there.
I can only imagine getting that all together in the beginning must have been a crazy mess. I've heard it from my friend who works at Hancock College. She was the coordinator to help the teachers get back online. So, crazy.
Yeah, I think that the first few team meetings, there may have been a few tears, just
I can't do this. I can't
yeah,
do it.
yeah, and it didn't necessarily have to be the teacher. Sometimes I felt like it was going to be me or one of the coordinators, but it was just about the need to get it done. The need was so great. Our besides doing the academics, we started working with the school districts to deliver the school lunches.
Mm,
And so we
right.
deliver over 6,000 school lunches a week
Wow.
just here in Santa Maria and Guadalupe, and we're doing another 600 uh, in Carpinteria, Santa Barbara, and Goleta. So we just started that. But just when they thought that their duties were enough, we said, oh, but wait, we have to get them their school lunches. So
That's wow, that's so helpful. I take a walk in my local area and I see them. I don't know who those people are, but bless their hearts, and they're standing on the edge and getting those lunches. And kudos to those folks doing that daily, giving out those lunches and keeping the babies fed. And um, I know
I
that. Go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to our maintenance team.
I
So
know.
our maintenance team said, of course we'll do that. So they pull the wagon around, and drop them off at every single doorstep, so there aren't any kids coming out, and there's no worry about you know, social distancing, because they know there are 2 children here, they drop off 2 lunches, and they've done that for the past 6 weeks, and they are great. They it's fun to hear them say that they like to hear the kids open the door after they're gone and say thank you, close the door, you know.
Wow,
It's
that's
great.
great. Yeah, yeah, I do see them. I know that the cafeteria people are working too, right? So they're getting that already
Yes.
prepared. Where does that food come from that is so graciously given out? Is it through the
So
school?
it's through the school district. We pick up in Santa Maria. We pick up at the Santa Maria Bonita School District. In Guadalupe, they actually um, do all of the bringing from the district to the site and delivering. And in Santa Barbara and Carpinteria, we'll be picking up and we'll be doing the delivering.
I see.
But it talk about essential workers. The food service people have been so great and kind and not worried about their own safety or their own, you know, they just knew that kids needed to be fed, and that we live in an area where a lot of our students depend on that.
Yes, yes, with the two in a family, I should say, working all day. And they're out in the fields, a lot of them, aren't they? A lot of their
Hmm.
parents are out in the fields. Also, I have to give a kudos out love
For
to
sure.
them for working out there and keeping our food on the table locally. And now, does that include the food bank at all, or is that a separate kind of entity out there?
That so that the great thing about the school districts is that they work on a reimbursement also, you know, on a reimbursement basis. So if they're not able to get the lunches to the students, they are not able to get that reimbursement. So um, it works both ways. It works for us, and it also works for the school district. Now the food bank will come to some of our sites, I think once a month, and hand out food also.
Okay, okay. Well, they're being taken care of academically and then by food. I mean, that sounds like a win-win in our community by far, don't you think?
I hope so. I think so. We're happy to do it.
Yeah. And then also I was thinking, the academia stuff that you were talking about, what exactly are the classes that you're focusing on, just out of curiosity?
So we have 2 programs. We have 2 web-based programs. One is in literacy and one is in math.
Okay.
And it's a standard-based program. All of our reporting is data based. So we follow our students in this program, and then we also match it up to their SBAC scores at the end of the year.
Hmm.
And we look at the relationship between what are they doing in this program and what are they doing as far as SBAC. And this is the iReady program that we use. We're in a cohort that's using it in housing nationwide. There's 7 of us in this cohort. And what we found is that what they do in iReady really reflects what is happening in their SBAC scores. And so we're really happy about using that program. We can tell how many minutes they've been on. We can tell where they are having issues so that the educator can go on and help them with that. So what we've seen is that we have 90% of our kids working on it on a daily basis. And they're working on it more than they did in March and April than they were in January and February.
90%.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's huge. That's great
Yeah.
numbers to hear.
Yeah.
Good. Well, okay, now I'm going to cross my arms here. I've seen you a couple of times, Missy, and where you work. Actually, it was during the summer. I was teaching guitar, and I used your building, I believe, over there on the
Mm-hmm.
west side. And uh, any chance they're going to bring in some artists, some drumming, some guitar lessons? I don't know. Are you looking at any of the other curricular type activities?
Yeah.
Since I'm so passionate about that.
So funny you should ask. This summer is going to be a lot of enrichment. So even now we're doing ukulele and drumming, but we're looking for artists and musicians that want to teach over Zoom, because we have 400 kids that could be your students, and we're really excited about that, about bringing the community into our classrooms. It would be something that we wouldn't really be able to do. We would have at the max, about 15 students at our sites usually, but now all of our students can have access to a voice lesson, or you know
Well, I'll tell you,
an art lesson.
that would be phenomenal because I do believe in using both sides of the brain, and of course any arts in particular is where I believe all our creativity is for really new ideas for our planet, don't you think?
Mhm. Oh,
We,
I
oh,
yeah,
we've got to think outside the box here and
yes.
get with it.
And the ability to be in 3 counties at one time is great. You have kids in carpenter. You could have a second grader in Carpinteria, an eighth grader in Paso, and a 12th grader in Santa Maria that all are interested in voice, and you could teach them. And it's like I said, it's COVID change, but it's opportunity, a lot of opportunity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, my first guest that we talked about COVID and fear, and she had posted something and said it's time to take a pause, kind of a pause. Where are we? How do we want to come back, in the world? Another thing I'm very passionate about when I started this nonprofit One Heart was the anti-bully, and so it might be a chance for character building classes maybe or something. I I'm hearing you.
And the other thing that happens, I jump in on some of the classes, and the other thing that happens is that teachers aren't having to deal with stop pushing, come here, sit down, all of the class management things. And so there's kind of like this peaceful calm about the class itself. And I think it lends itself to supporting each other. So the teacher will say, "Hey, way to go, Yaretsi, you got 100% on that," and then they start chatting and saying, "Yaretsi, that was great," so they still are having this contact with each other in a really positive and I think a really accepting and peaceful place, so that they're not afraid to to really support their classmates, or to
Right.
be supported by their classmates. So it's great. It's a beautiful it's beautiful, really.
It is, it is. And I think I know somebody that maybe you know, the gentleman who hired me during the summer, Gail McNeely, has gotten quite a few
Hmm.
grants, and I know that he's got the teachers to plug in there. So coordinate you two together if you haven't already talked. He's got ways and means to take care of those teachers for you. Um, so one last question here for some of the folks that are listening. Um, Is there a way that people can volunteer or help you out, or do you need such a thing? I don't know.
Well, I think that we need volunteers more than actually when we were in our classrooms,
Oh,
and I think it's because we want um, we want to have a variety of information and a variety of activities for our students. And I think that when people do something and they love to do something, um, it really translates to the kids, and the kids can find something that they love also. So if anybody is interested, uh, I'm not sure how they. My email is alejandram@pshhc.org, or you can look me up on the People's Self Help Housing website and get a
right.
hold of me, and we would be happy to have you join our team.
Well, I'll be putting this video back up on the Facebook as a replay, and I also have it on WonHeart TV on YouTube. If it's all right, I will put your email and they can get a hold of you, and I'll put it right there that volunteers always appreciated, right?
Hey, yep, that would be
Super.
great.
Wow. Well, I'm so glad that we had this chance because maybe a lot of people don't know all the services that are exactly going on with the children out there and how they're going to come back. When's the projected date of coming back to school?
We're
Nobody
not sure
knows.
yet. We're
Nobody
not,
knows.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're not sure yet. And how we come back will be different. And so our program will stay a hybrid program, I think, for a very long time, so that we can serve as many kids as possible.
Yeah. Will you be ending just as you would in June and then starting back up in the fall?
We'll end in June. We'll give everybody about a 2 week uh, break, and then we'll be back for summer school,
Oh, right.
and then we'll be back in the fall.
And then back in the fall. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I am so appreciative of you taking your time today to fill us in and to give us exactly all the goodies that you've been providing in our beautiful Santa Maria Valley. And well, I'll have to check back with you and see
Sure.
a little conversation. I'm checking back with all of my guests. So again, this is Alejandra Mahoney, head of the director of the Education for People's Self-Help and Housing. So glad to have you with us today. And to all
Thank
of
you so
those,
much.
yeah, you bet. I will be posting this on Facebook Live, or Facebook, I guess, and also on YouTube. You can catch her back at WonHeart TV on YouTube. So thank you all for checking in. Thanks again, Alejandra, and we'll talk soon, huh?
Okay. Thank you, Joelyn.
All right. Peace. Love to you all. Bye bye.